I want to dive into the questions, Chief Son. In your transcribed interview, you mentioned that you met with the House Sergeant at Arms regarding the National Guard prior to January 6th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And who was the House Sergeant at Arms leading up to and on January 6th?
That would be Paul Irving.
And the House Sergeant at Arms is appointed by who?
It was appointed at that time by Speaker Pelosi.
And in your transcribed interview, you mentioned that when you first brought up the National Guard to the House Sergeant at Arms in the days leading up to January 6th, that Mr. Irving said he, quote, didn't like the optics, end quote. Is that correct?
That is correct. He referenced being concerned for optics.
And on January 6th, when you went to Mr. Irving to get his approval to call in the Guard, Mr. Irving said he would, quote, run it up the chain. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That was a telephone call. I didn't see him in person when I first made that request.
The House Sergeant at Arms is considered probably the most senior security official on the House side. When Mr. Irving says he has to, quote, run it up the chain, end quote, what did that mean?
I took that to mean his leadership chain.
And who would be his leadership chain? He's functionally the most senior security official on the House side, correct?
That's his title. That's part of the title, the senior law enforcement official for the House of Representatives. But he would have been referring to the leadership team that goes up to Speaker Pelosi.
So the political leadership team, meaning elected officials, not another security official, is that your understanding?
That is correct, sir. He's the top security official for the House. So
running up the chain would most likely, in your opinion, is through the Speaker's office and possibly to Speaker Pelosi?
That would be where it ends, yes.
Okay, so let's park that there, and then let's jump to a second set here. In a press conference on January 7th, Speaker Pelosi called for your resignation on national television. Speaker Pelosi also stated that she had not talked to you since the initial breach of the Capitol. But according to your transcribed interview, you were on the phone with Speaker Pelosi a few times. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, that is correct. I spoke to Speaker Pelosi 3 times that evening, and she went on national TV and said I'd never spoken to her, but I spoke to her 3 times. The three times were the first time when I went over to brief Vice President Pence at the secure location. I had called House Sergeant at Arms Irving, told him I was going over to brief the Vice President. I was also going over to do a personal assessment of the Capitol. At that point, things were getting under control. Went over there, briefed him on when we can get them back into chambers with Mr. Irving being fully aware. He said he wanted to get Speaker Pelosi on the phone. He made a phone call from his cell phone at approximately 5:34, where I first briefed Speaker Pelosi. The second call was when I left that location. As I was walking away, I met up with Mr. Stenger, and we started walking over to the Senate to go brief the Senate. When Jennifer Hemingway, I believe it was Jennifer Hemingway, handed me the cell phone, and it was Emily Barrett's cell phone calling her, and it was Speaker Pelosi on the other line. This is my second call with Speaker Pelosi, questioning the information I'd given to Vice President Pence about when we can get back into chambers. I assured her that information was correct. I could get them back into chambers by 7 p.m., and the call ended. That was call number 2. Call number 3 was 6:25 p.m. I was over at the Senate from the secure location, from where the Senate had been sequestered, and on a cell phone using Robert Karam's cell phone, they dialed leadership, who was over off-site at a secure location, and I briefed all of leadership of the plans to get them back into chambers. That would have been call number 3 with Speaker Pelosi.
So you didn't have 1 call, you didn't have 2 calls, you had 3 calls. So Speaker Pelosi's comments that she didn't speak to you are inaccurate.
That is correct, sir.
It looks like Pelosi just got caught. That was former U.S. Capitol Police Chief Stephen A. Sun testifying before the House Administration Subcommittee on Oversight, dropping quite the bombshell there, accusing Pelosi of lying about the events at J6. Pelosi has apparently been denying that she had any contact with Sun, the Capitol Police Chief, as part of her denial of any culpability for the events that transpired on that day. President Trump, of course, recently blamed Pelosi for the riot, saying that he asked for the National Guard to be present 3 days in advance of January 6th, but Pelosi turned him down. She refused to call in the National Guard. And Police Chief Sun, who you just saw testify there, he was on Tucker Carlson's show a few months back when Tucker was still on Fox, and he had his own suspicions about Pelosi back then as well. There's a bit of an audio glitch here, but you'll hear it loud and clear.
I actually had to go in and talk to a friend of mine on one of the oversight committees and say, I will come there in person. I want to be there. I want to testify. So I'm glad you think I'm reserved. To be honest with you, I'm a little pissed off. because it doesn't have to happen. If people were reporting the intelligence correctly, if I was allowed to do my job as the chief, I got a significant experience. If I was allowed to do my job as the chief, we wouldn't be here today. This didn't happen. Then see how you're out there, you're lambasted in public, and it's all, everything appears to be a cover-up. Like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but when you look at the information, the intelligence that it had, military had, it's all watered down. I'm not getting intelligence. I'm denied support National Guard in advance. I'm denied National Guard while we're under attack for 71 minutes. You're in a fight?
Yeah.
A fight for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, 1
wears
minute.
you out.
1 minute.
I was going to say, 60 seconds, 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Let me tell you, it wears you out. My officers were fighting for 80 minutes before the protesters ever broke the first one with that.
Wait, can I say, so you described this as a failure to get the intelligence to the people who needed it, but it sounds like worse than, it sounds like they were hiding the intelligence.
And that's what I'm getting at, is could there possibly be people that actually did something to happen and kind of wanted something to happen? It's not a far stretch to begin.
Well, I don't know what the other explanation is.
It's sad when you start putting everything together and thinking about the way this played out. It gets concerning. What was their end goal? You look at what's happening. Was that their end goal? I don't know.
Hey, gang, Pelosi's corruption is just the tip of the iceberg. For example, up until now, the digital dollar or central bank digital currency, it's been little more than a headline. But have you noticed that things are developing at an alarmingly rapid pace of late? It started with a sweeping executive order from Biden administration, and now central banks are even hiring for their development. Here's the thing. You all know this. A digital dollar, when all said and done, means centralized control of your money. It could be used to track your purchases, control what you buy, and even seize or freeze your assets like we saw with the Freedom Convoy. That's why it is so vitally critical you protect your money with precious metals like gold and silver. I partnered with the top-rated precious metals company Goldco that have helped patriots move over $1 billion into the timeless value of gold and silver. And gang, now it's your turn. Right now, they're giving you up to $10,000 in free silver while supplies last. So click on that link below right now. Don't wait. Do what countless patriots are doing to make sure bumbling Biden never has control over all your money. Go to the link below right now to learn how you can get started today. So there you have it. Again, sorry for the audio there, but again, what was so bizarre is that here you have the Capitol Police Chief himself suggesting that the events surrounding J6 appear to have been intentional on the part of Pelosi and the Democrats. And yet, if you didn't know this, Fox News originally refused to air that clip. The Murdoch News Network refused to show the Capitol Police Chief himself claiming that there appeared to be some kind of cover-up with what really happened on J6. So if you think it through, there were two horrors there, right? You've got the horror of our leaders possibly involved in the events that led to J6 on the one hand, but you've also got a major news media outlet, Fox, intentionally covering up that information on the other. Now, here's the key to all this. This fellow, Chief's son, has reportedly told the subcommittee that he can provide documentation to prove that he spoke to Pelosi by phone. Apparently, he's got the phone records to prove that Pelosi lied about not speaking with him. Now, if he's got those receipts, then this subcommittee has got to subpoena Pelosi. They have to have her come in to testify under oath what she knew, who she spoke to, why she claimed she never spoke to Chief's son, and why President Trump's request for National Guard troops was turned down. This is all about getting to the truth of what really happened on that fateful day, a day that changed the lives of dozens of patriots who are rotting in prison as we speak because of this, some of them for the half of their adult lives. So let's hope the GOP steps up to the plate here and brings Pelosi in to testify. The nation and the J6 political prisoners deserve no less. Are you ready to join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punished Bud Light and Target, driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy, forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG, and now we're seeing our conservative-dominated Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. Don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today.